This is Electric Universe Eyes, and today I wanted you to look at the eastern portion of the US and look at this storm that just passed. This is a storm that left many tornadoes and destruction across Texas and into Oklahoma yesterday, and it's continuing. And you notice that bottom portion kind of spun off of that ancient fault line that goes through Texas. And it goes all the way up. And if you look at the east side, you notice all of the mountain ranges. They kind of look liquid, snake-like almost, right? You have all this destruction on the left side, and then you still have some sort of opposite effect on the right. But just look at how this storm moves. I'm going to reload this page again so that you can see the map without the animation. Ah, come on. What if I zoom in? Watch. Maybe that'll do it. There, it went away for a second. There it is. You see that? Now watch when the storm loads. Now watch how the clouds move. These storm systems are following conductive paths from the Earth connecting to the atmosphere. Maybe I'm the only one that sees it. Look at that. I don't think it's a coincidence. It's not coincidence that storms will just spin up and move across the country. And usually the cold front comes down, follows this pathway. This usually gets dumped with snow. You know, the weather's been wacky. I don't know if you've seen it, but for 3 years now, the weather's been getting pretty crazy, and it's only going to get crazier. Let's take a look at Google Earth. When you zoom all the way out, it does show cloud cover. So we can see the imagery put together by all the satellite data. And look at this. This just swirls around. So if you want to see how the pattern actually moves, it's just going around like this, around the top. And it's the same way on the South Pole. Except it goes in the opposite direction. Right? Look at that. You get these straight line winds. Anyway, imagine dragons. Not the band, but real dragons. This plasma right here, when this is ultra ionized from a sun event or another body that passes by and causes a major electrical discharge event, it affects our Earth. I really hope we never see anything like that again. The sun could potentially do something. I don't think we would see the disasters like we saw as they describe from Venus and Mars. Connecting with the Earth through plasma, as it was described in the best way that the ancients could. They didn't know what electricity or plasma was, but they sure related fire and light, and talked about all the destruction on the Earth and how it affected us. So, as Walt Thornhill said, he doesn't see a wandering star coming into our system anytime soon. And I want to believe that. As I've followed these guys' research, they say that stars form within a Birkeland current and the filaments spread apart and the stars are ejected that way. However, I can't get over the fact that we don't really know. And my experiments with electricity I've stared at a lot of electric discharge just swirling about and connecting with various materials. And again, granted, it is on Earth in our atmosphere and it's not in space. I can't tell you how everything works, but I do think the foundation is electricity that rules the cosmos, not gravity. Gravity would be a repercussion or an effect of the electric force. What I'm saying here is, on a cosmic scale, man cannot know if this Birkeland current filaments, how they split apart and merge back together. The only data we have is by using these telescopes to witness other galaxies colliding. Anyway, I think what I can't get over is all the cultures say that something will happen. Their deity will return again. So who is this deity? Because I think it's a planet, or what they used to call a star. Because planets were never called planets before. They were all referred to in ancient text as stars or suns. Many cultures talk about how we've had several suns in our past, and that our current sun's not our original sun, that they all link back to Saturn. And Saturn was usurped by his son Jupiter. But not before Mercury came in as the messenger. And there was the brilliant display of Venus crowning Mars. If you took an arrow and shot it through the 3 planets that are supposedly stationary above our Earth at that time, you could look up and see in the eye of Ra, or the eye of Odin, Mars being the pupil, Venus being the spires lighting up behind Mars, in between Saturn, discharging as Jupiter is starting to pull this configuration apart, starting to pull Earth away from Saturn, pulling Mars closer to Earth, creating a world mountain, discharging plasma, connecting to our planet. It connected to our planet with plasma, and then it released again, and then it came back, and then all of a sudden the whole situation got worse and the configuration broke apart and Venus left the scene. I think went and hung out with Jupiter for a little bit. There's lots of stories. Just read any mythological story. You'll start to pick up the pieces that way. You read the Bible. It's a lot more confusing reading the Bible, but that's got the true story as well. You have to be able to read parables and read it in a way that you see what the story is that's being told, not relating it to human beings. But there were humans in those stories because we were on Earth seeing what's above, and as above, so below. What's happening around us is affecting the Earth. So those were some terrible times, when the Earth got pulled towards the sun. And there was moments of darkness when we were outside what used to protect us, inside of Saturn's plasma sheath. The Golden Age, the times of Adam and Eve, when all of the world was peaceful. It was like paradise, what they said. I think that's when this Earth was a lot smaller too. I can't I can't get over the tectonic plates not being what they say they are. And I'll give you one example. Here's the US. And if there was a giant storm here, something like the Great Red Spot of Jupiter, however, let's see if I can flip this around. Oh, come on, baby. There we go. All right, if we had a great red spot style storm here and it ripped apart the planet like an exploding capacitor, you can see in the lines of the ocean the records left in the ocean bed, and you can see these stretch marks. These are stretch marks. And all of this connects. This connected here. Australia connected to Antarctica. New Zealand was part of Australia. All of this stuff was all connected. Look at this. It's not tectonic plates. They are plates, but it's not what they show you in the science books. Look at how these storms just swirl around, and imagine Earth being 1/3 the size it is now. I would say closer to what we see with Mars. And I could take South America here and look at these stretch marks. Move this right here. Connect this with these stretch marks all the way to the tip of South Africa. And you can see how South Africa was pulled north. All of these masses, these land masses, were connected before they got destroyed like this with plasma discharge from planets. Venus being a major one. Well, that's what I got for you today. Toodaloo.